So we are going to record this call, these sessions, and we are going to post it in our YouTube as well. So whatever doubts you have, like you can just ask it that is directly right now. That is once at the end of the session you can ask. So today's session, like we'll be going with the basic data science session. And so before that, we shall introduce ourselves. Myself, I'm Khalil Ahmad, and the trainer is Irfan. So myself, I was working with TCS, and I have overseas experience of 2 years. I was in Toronto, Canada. So I was working as a basic business analyst on a capital markets domain. Then wherein no, we started a we started a tool that is a knowledge sharing place named bigdatahandson.com. So here in this bigdatahandson.com, we majorly focus into artificial intelligence courses like big data, data science, machine learning, deep learning, neural networks, and other stuffs. Like let me just check if someone would have joined the call. So okay, so here let us go to the session, to the part. Like, so here we are into big data, data science, Spark. We'll be taking sessions on big data, data science, and machine learning, deep learning, reinforcement learning, neural networks, and other artificial intelligence tools. Also, we are located in Chennai, and also we have planned to operate in Trichy as well in coming years. So here, like our previous sessions, like all those videos, if you go to Meetup uploads and Meetup videos, if you click, you'll have all our videos in this place. We'll be telling this at the start of the session and also end of the session. So at this place, you'll be having videos, and also we'll be having older videos. Here, if you want to see that, you can see that as well. Older videos, like we used to take it on just machine learning, deep learning, stuff. So right now, we have included a data science part as well. So it would be a free session for us. So most of the people can get used to it because of this lockdown which is going on so here, like if there is any doubts you have, you can just contact us. This is our number. It's 978-988-424, or else you can contact this number. And also like you can also mail us to our IDs. Like you can just make use of this support at bigdatahandson.com, or else you can WhatsApp our number as well. I'll whatever, or you can, if you want to, if you are interested, you can join in our group. You can just first WhatsApp me. If you are interested to join in our group, you can join. So today's session, like we are going to see see here. So this would be like a 13-day session, complete data science overview. We are going to go with introduction on data science. All this 13 session would be just an introduction of data science. Data science is a huge subject, so it is like it is not like something which can be learned in 10-15 days. No, it needs to have a huge practice of 6 months to 6 months, and but still, no, we'll be covering the basics. So it would be a good thing for you to kickstart, or for you to self-learn things. And first day, we'll be covering with the basics of data science and descriptive statistics. Second day, we'll be covering inferential statistics. Third day, it would be modules, NumPy. Probability distribution also will be included on day 2. And in day 3, um, in day 3, we'll be covering modules, NumPy, Pandas, the Matplot, Seaborn. Then day 4, we'll go with machine learning in data pre-processing. Day 5, we'll go with linear regression and on multiple linear regression. Day 6, we'll go with logistics regression and also decision tree. Day 7, we'll go with k-nearest neighbor. random forest. Day 8 we'll go with native Bayes. Day 9 we'll go with k-means. Day 10 we'll go with introduction to deep learning. And day 11 we'll go with interior inside deep learning. And that is day 10 itself we'll go with ANN, artificial neural networks. Days 11 convolutional neural networks. Day 12 it is RNN, recurring neural networks. And day 11, day 12, day 13 we'll go with upper confidence bound Thompson sampling. So all these concepts, basic concepts on data science and machine learning, deep learning, and also statistics will be covered. Please make use of this session. Please ask your friends to join the session. Once the session is done, we'll be posting these recordings in our website. And if you want to have materials of this, as materials will be charged. It will be like you need to pay rupees 500 to get materials if you need. If not needed, then you can just visualize in the videos which we posted in our bigdatahandson.com/videos. So like you can, this is the free session for the people who's doing college and also doing working, and who cannot afford, like most of the people here in our society, like right, there is a lockdown now, so they want to update their knowledge, but they cannot afford right now. So that for those people we are taking these sessions. Thank you. You can continue with the session, Irfan.
Can you make me as host?
Yes, 1 second. One second. Irfan, like most of the people will be joining the call. Please admit them,
Okay, okay.
okay?
Yeah, sure.
Because you are the host now. So
Okay,
please admit, or else you can just share the screen, and also you can make me as a host.
okay.
That will work out so I can manage it.
Yes, I make you as host.
Yes, you can continue, Irfan.
Okay. Today we will go basic of data science. So in the data science, we will cover the first. We will cover the statistics behind the data science, and before that, we will see what is the data science. So data science is an knowledge, interprets knowledge from the tremendous amount of data. So nowadays in our world is data driven. So everywhere we have a data. So what we can do with the data, we can visualize the data, we can make decisions with the data, so we can predict using the data. So for that data, to handle the data and get the knowledge from the data, we will use the data science. So the goal is to address the challenge of in big data, and in big data we will sorry in data science we have statistics. So statistics we will use to get the data, and involves in classifying, summarizing, organizing, and analyzing the data. So this will be covering in statistics. So in statistics, basically we will collect the data. Let's say if you have a huge amount of data, so the huge amount of data is called as population. So in that population you will be getting a sample of the sample data from the population. So why we are taking sample from the population is because if you want to survey a million peoples, you can go and survey peoples, million peoples. So we will take a sample peoples and we will survey the peoples who are in the samples. So before that, statistics, we have two types. One is descriptive statistics and another one is inferential statistics. So in descriptive statistics, what we do, we will describe the data. So we will collect the data, present the data, and categorizing the data. So the purpose of descriptive statistics, that is, we will describe the data and what information we can get from the data. That is the descriptive statistics. And inferential statistics is, we will take sample from the population, and with the population we will do some tests and predictions. So that is the inferential statistics. To Today we will see descriptive statistics. So before that, we will need to understand the type of the data. So in the data, we have two types. One is qualitative and quantitative. So what is mean by qualitative? Qualitative data are like categorical data, like hair color and gender, and these are the qualitative data. And quantitative data are like numerical data, like weight, age. These are the quantitative data that are numerical data. And in qualitative data, we have two types. One is dichotomic and polynomic. Dichotomy is like two categories. One is gender, let's say male or female. So this have two categories. So in polynomic, we have multiple categories. We can have multiple categories like car names, type of cars. Then in quantitative data. So in quantitative data also we have two types. One is discrete and another one is continuous. So discrete means that is in finite data. So we can make count of the data. So these are like in integer data, let's say integer numbers. So the number of employees in an organization. And continuous data is like there is distance traveled, weight of luggage. In discrete we can have only like 1 2 3 4, that is discrete data. In continuous we can have a point decimal data also, let's say 1 1.1 1.2 1.3, like that it will goes on, so continuously. So that is continuous data. And that's how we will call the data as a variables. In statistics we will call as a variables. So that is the whole thing, qualitative, quantitative, on the type of that. So okay, numerical scales of measurement. So scales of measurement includes the nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. So if you have a numerical data, in that numerical data we will measure in four types. One is nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. And what is nominal means, so let's say we have a categorical data in that. So in that categorical data there is no logic to order, there is no logical order in that. So we can have female male or male female, it can be any order. So that is nominal data. So we can brown, black, blonde, gray, other. So it can be any randomly we can order this. So that is nominal data. And ordinal data should be an order, so it should be follow an order. So let's say like this, very unhappy, unhappy, okay, happy, very happy. So this should be an order. So if you have a grades like a plus a, b plus b, so that should follow an order, no? So that is ordinal data. And interval type measurement, that is like let's say difference between two values. Let's say the difference between 60 and 50, that is 10 degrees. And as that is same as 80 and 8, difference between the 80 and 70 degrees. So that is interval. So difference between the values. In interval, the difference between the values every for every data that should be same. And ratio is of two values is meaningful. Let's say if you have height, weight, and time, use the ratio scale. Like let's say you have a 10 kilowatt, so you can split by the 5 kg and 5 kg. So if you add up to the 5 kg and 5 kg, that will be 10 kgs. But in temperature, if you see, so in first day you have 40 degrees Celsius, and second day if you have 40 degrees Celsius, you can't add the Celsius, so 40 degree plus 40 degree, so 80 degrees Celsius. So and another day we can have 80 degrees Celsius, no. So in height and weight distance, we can add that. Okay. Descriptive statistics involves some steps, like collect the data and present the data and summarize the data. So in collect the data, what we'll basically do, we will do some survey and get the data. After getting the data, we will do some graphs and tables, so to know about the data, and we will summarize the data. So there's three steps we will cover in here. So first is collect the data. In collection of the data, we have two types. One is biased sampling and another one is unbiased sampling. In biased sampling, what we do, let's say if you have in biased sampling, we have two types. One is convenience and volunteer samples. So in convenience sample, uh, we will take the samples who are in the convenience, like uh, who you can approach and who are in your uh, small distance, so accessible. So you will take that data, and that is a convenience sample. And in volunteer sample, we will sample collected from those elements of the population which choose to contribute the needed information of their own initiative. So the samples who comes in voluntarily, it will comes. So in biased sampling, that is not good sampling in biased sampling. So that's because the sample data should represent the population. Whole population data should represent the sample data. So all the information in the population data, that should be covered in the sample data. So that's why we are taking the samples. So in unbiased sampling, we have some type of samplings. That one is random sampling. In random sampling, we will just randomly select the data. All samples of size n have in random samples, if you see, all the samples have a equal probability to chosen. And in the random sampling, let's say an example, an employer is interested in the limit it takes each employee to commute to work each morning. So, a random sample of 35 employees we will take. There are 2712 employees, let's say. In that employees, we will choose 35 employees. So in random sampling, let's say we will take some 4 digits numbers. So in that 4 digits numbers, let's say if you have 13, so we will take the 13% for sample, and 15% for sample, and the 9% for sample. So it's the step of random sample. Using these steps, we will choose samples in randomly. And another type, we have systematic sample. Systematic sample is like uh, the, every kth value we will select. Like if you have second in that whole data I want to select the second, all the second value. So we will continuously we will fetch the second values. So this is systematic samples. And stratified and another one is stratified random sample. In stratified random sample, what we'll do, if you have categories of data, we will first we will categorize the data. So if you have two or three or more categories, so in that each and every category we will select the random samples. So in the stratified random sample, each and every category have same amount of data. So that is a stratified random sampling. And proportional sampling is a sample obtained by the stratifying the sampling frame and then selecting the number of it uses a stratified random sample, the same as the stratified random sample. It uses the technique. And in cluster sampling, that's same as stratified sampling, but in cluster sampling difference, like in stratified sampling we are categorizing within the data within groups. So in cluster sampling we will take a take the group of the data. We will group the data, not from the categories. So we will randomly group the data. In the grouped data we will select the uh, randomly we will select some data. So that is the difference between the stratified sampling and cluster sampling. So in stratified sampling we will uh, categorize the data first, but in the cluster sampling we don't categorize the data. We will just group the data in different groups. We will group the data, and in that groups we will take some random samples. That is the difference between the stratified sampling and the cluster sampling. And we have collected data, let's say, and now we need to present or organize the data. So in organizing the data we have two tabs. One is tables and another one is graphs. So in tables we will use frequency distribution and relative frequency distribution. And in graphs, to visualize the data, so we'll use bar chart, histogram, pie chart, and frequency polygon. So let's see first frequency distribution. In frequency distribution, uh, we will take the categories. So see, we have class A, class B, class C. So we will group the categories. So class, if you group the class A, so how many class A are occurs in the data? So this is the frequency distribution. And in the relative frequency distribution, we will calculate the percentages of the let's say in psychology we have 64 62 students. In economy we have 35 students. So these are the frequency distribution. And for the percentage, so to we calculate the percentage. So the percentage is the relative frequency distribution. And for visualizing the data we will use some graphs, that is bar chart and histogram. So in bar chart, so each distinct value is represented by a bar. In the bar chart and histogram both, it is represented by a bar, and we'll have a vast number of bars. We can have multiple number of bars in that. And in the bar chart you have a data like numeric two, the both are the numeric. But in the histogram, so let's say histogram we have graphical representation of a frequency distribution. So in frequency distribution what we do, we will categorize the data and count how many times the category is occurred. So like this, the histogram is a bar, like it will you can plot in histogram numerical and categorical data, but in the bar chart you will only use the numerical data. So the difference between the bar chart and histogram, that is the bar chart we will use the numerical, and histogram we can use categorical data. And in that, so in bar chart we can have multiple with the bars, but in histogram we have a same with bar. And the difference between the bar chart and histogram. So another graph, we have a pie chart. Pie chart are the best if you have a, if you want to compare a data with the whole data. So if you want to uh, count find the percentages, you can use the pie chart. And the last step is the summarize the data. In summarizing the data, we will calculate the central tendency and the variation. So in central tendency is like a middle value. So the middle value in where the data and the huge amount of data is lying on. So that will calculate using the mean median mode. So first we will see that mean is the average value of the data. So we will sum all the values and divided by the number of values. That is our mean. Mean is represented by the bar, say y bar, the sum of all the values divided by the number of values. And just an example to calculate mean. And another, we have median. So we can use mean, but some cases we will use median. It's because if you have a high change in the data, if you add an outlier, so if let's say if you have 1 2 3 4 numbers, and if you are adding the outlier, let's say 50, so the mean should be a high value. So but to ignore the outlier, we will use the median value. Median value is the middle value of the data. So let's say the median is, to calculate the median, first we will sort the data. After sorting the data, we will choose the middle value. So if you have a odd number of data, we can choose the middle value. But if you have a even number of data, we will take the middle two values. And that is the example of this. So if you have a even number of data, so we will calculate the middle two values. So add up the middle two values and divided by the 2. So that should be that will give you the median. So the why we use the median. So if you have an outlier, so it can and affect by the outliers. The outlier can't affect the median. If you have a symmetric uh, distribution of data, the mean median is lie on the middle. But if you have a changing data, in that if you have add some outliers, so that should be the median is the correct value, but sometimes the mean will be uh, moved towards that. And mode, Mode is a value that occurs mostly in the data. So most common data point is called the mode. So in this data we have a mode that is 109. So 109 is occurring more times, so it is occurred 3 times. If you don't have repeated values in your data, so there is no mode. And also it is possible to have more than one mode. The same as if you have a symmetric normal distribution, the mean median mode lie on the middle value, but in the skewed data the mode is the first, and median and the mean. So why we use the mean median mode is to calculate the central tendency. That's why we use a mean median mode. And also, and another, we have variation. In variation we have a range. Range is nothing but the difference between the high value in your data and the lowest value in your data. That is our range. And another, we have interquartile range. Interquartile range is we will divide into two parts. Say we have divided into this 500 and this 500. So in this first 500 we will calculate the median, so that should be our first quartile. And in another part we will calculate the median, that is our second quartile. So difference between the two quartiles, that is our interquartile range. And the variance is the spread of your record. So I will calculate the variance is to know about how our data is spreaded. To do that we will use some middle value. So using that middle value, how far your data are from the mean, that is our variance. To calculate the variance, first we will subtract each and every value to the mean value. So let's say if you have a mean here, so before the mean all values we will calculate, and after the mean we will calculate. So we will subtract each and every values uh, from the data. So if you subtract these two before the mean, so that should give you a negative value. So after the mean you subtract some values, it will give you a positive values. So if you have negative and positive, that will equalize that. So that time there is a calculating the mean, and after that we will square that.
One second.
So after that we will square each and every values, because after calculating the difference we will square that, is because we have some negative values and the positive values that will equalize that. So that's why we will square the each and every values, and after squaring that we will sum all the values. after that we will calculate the sum. So the variance will be the high value. So to know, like, so variance of a population, that is divided by the n, but in variance of for sample, so we will use some sample. So in sample we will use n minus 1. So on the standard deviation, to convert the variance into something of meaning, let's so in variance we have high values, so there is no meaning. So that's why we calculate the standard deviation. So in standard deviation, let's say if you have a normal distribution in that, so if you calculate the standard deviation, so after the standard deviation, how many values are changing? That is our standard deviation here. Standard deviation is the square root of the variance, the square root of our variance. And if you have a high standard, low standard deviation, our distribution is like this. If you have a low high standard deviation, so the time our distribution will like this. And we have a box plot. So in that box plot, all these things you can find in here. So mean, median. So the black line is our median value, and the box is our 50% of data. And from this to from this, that is our whole data. To apply this, we use some languages like Python to calculate the mean, median, mode, and the standard deviation variance. To do that, we have a software called Anaconda. So in Anaconda, you will find all the tools used for data science. So you can just install the Anaconda. In that Anaconda, you will find some tools like Jupyter, Spider, and RStudio. So I have installed Anaconda in my system. So I'm going to use Spider. Let me start the Spider. Spider is the IDE for Python. So that should contain all the tools for data science, all the libraries it should include. You can download it from this website. For calculating the mean, median, we use library called NumPy. So using that NumPy, we can calculate the mean, median. And for statistic, we have a library called SciPy. So now the spider is starting.
In the meantime, Irfan, you can just go with the slides. That's it, introduction slide we have.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's it. So let me save this file. मम्मी क्या भी नहीं. So in so for that we will import the libraries. One is NumPy. Now import NumPy as NP, and to get the data we have a library called pandas, and to visualize the data we have a library called matplotlib. So let me import a data set. To read the file, first let me import this first. So let's say if you have a list here, in that list you have some numbers, random numbers. So you need to calculate the mean of this data. So how you can calculate? Using the NumPy library np.calculate. first we will print np dot main. So here we have a main function. In that main function we need to pass a list here. So that is our list A. If you run this, it will give you the main. The main is 30.0. To calculate the median, also we have np dot median. In median also we need to pass the list, and it will give you the median. So median is 6.5. You see here, we have huge variance to the mean and median, because you have outlier that is very huge value. That's why it is the variance of mean and median, that is difference. To calculate the mode, we need to import another library, that is statistics library, from the sci-fi module. Stats. So using this stats you can find the median, sorry, mode mode of the list. And also if you want to visualize the data, see, I'm assigning another list here. So the mode result, mode array of 1, so that is if you want to print the mode, just do assign the mode object into an variable, and you can find the mode from this. So the mode is 1. So now let's say if you have a two list here, so the length of the two lists should be same to plot some graphs. So 1, 2, 3. So to make the histogram, you can have hist from the matplotlib library. Histogram, let's say I'm giving a list here, and to show that, so this is our histogram. So, and for bar chart we have that bar chart we need to give a categorical now. Using that bar function you can create a bar chart. And for box plot can use the box plot. So that box plot, it can pass a list. So in so this is our box plot. So the line in yellowish color, that is our median. So it's our 50% data, and this is our whole data. It's the box plot here. And and in the stats module also we have many functions like standard deviation. So to calculate the standard deviation, we can just find the mean here first. So after finding the mean, and we need to subtract the each value, and we need to sum of the squares. So first, let's say I'm finding the mean of A, mean equal to p dot mean of the A. After finding the mean, we need to subtract each and every value with the with each and every value with the mean. So after finding that, we need to square it that. Uh, to square root, we can use a module called math. So we have a result here. Square root. So the square root of, so first we will take square root of the sum of the list, that is subtract each and every value in that A to the mean. So like I minus mean for I in A. So we will subtract the value, that is I, and with the mean, and we will sum together, and after that we need to divide it with the n minus 1. So the n is our length of our data, len of the A minus 1. So that should be our standard deviation. So we need to print that. Why it's getting 0? In NumPy, no, we don't have STT. The statistic module, we have the library standard deviation, uh, the function standard deviation. So our standard deviation is 40.52. Don't want this. So using this statistics module, you can find the standard deviation. So we can end up this session with this. Any doubts you can ask.
Irfan, you have a thing in chat. So you are able to open the chat, right?
No.
Okay. So 1 minute, let me just.
Yes, it's opened. We have a direct function is std in NumPy. I tried
Yeah.
that, we don't have. So you can see that np dot. If I put std, no, we don't have. No,
Any other doubts you have?
no.
No, any other doubts? Yes, Irfan, that is.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, yes, Dinesh. Welcome, Dinesh. Just I want to introduce Dinesh here. Dinesh is our data scientist. So he's joined the call. So if there is any doubts on this basic session on statistics, no, like the basic. Today we have seen the data science basics and also descriptive statistics. So whatever doubts you have, everything will be answered right away.
Okay, I have seen your doubts in chat. So, as per my understand, my experience, mostly you need a statistics patterns because the ML development, everything you will be go with that just a model. You're going to build some model and do it, but that model will provide that accuracy, right? That accuracy you'll get only via statistics. So, until your job completion, you need statistic knowledge. So there is no variance for the percentage. Each and every data points you have to identify and analyze what kind of statistics I have to apply. That is an important because the prediction completely follow with your cleaned and properly aligned data. Data quality that all will come only with statistics. That's the reason we are go with the machine learning and statistics in the first. I hope I answer your question. Any other question?
Any other questions? Please unmute yourselves and ask right away. So we are ready for now to answer your doubts.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Thanks for answering the question. So, and as you mentioned, yeah, statistics is definitely important, right? So, could you mention like any topics which we'll have to cover? Say basically probability, or because it's a very wide subject, right? Statistics as well, just like data science. So,
Yeah, I can understand your question.
yeah.
Actually, statistics, we cannot skip any points. It depends on your business problem. Whether you go with probability, you know the probability very well. But the data cleaning will come with inferential and descriptive statistics basis. And then we'll go with the testings. So sampling, data collections, and hypothesis testing, everything will come together. So we cannot skip whatever the business problem you're going to take it out based on the statistics you have to apply. That's an important. So that is a base. So sometimes you'll be handling large data. Then apart from statistics, the combination of mathematics also you have to apply. So a lot of things. We cannot skip this is enough like that. Everything is a basics. Once you learn the basics, then you can touch with the statistics properly.
Okay, thank you.
Any other question?
Any other questions you have? No. Anything chat? No. Okay. So I guess today, the first three sessions, it would be like the statistics part would be first three sessions. That is day 1, day 2, day 3. And after day 3, it will be completely a practical one. We will go inside machine learning, deep learning, reinforcement learning, linear regression, logistics. Everything will be pure practical after day 4, or first day 1, day 2, day 3, day until day 2. No, the first and second day there will be more PPT which would be demonstrated. After that there will be more practical. So please ensure that that is you attend the session on time, 6:30, exactly at 6:30, so you can have your doubt session. We can have your doubts session cleared at the end part, like we can spare after 7:30. We'll go with the doubts part in 10 minutes, last 10 minutes. So that's it for the today's session. And let me just um, introduce again, for the newcomers, we are bigdatahandson.com. If you're typing bigdatahandson.com on the site, like you will be having like it's our basic site. So you can see about us, myself. We are actually a 5-member team. Myself, Khalil Ahmad, Dinesh Kumar, Irfan, Indumati, and Dinesh Pandian. And like we are actually a 5-member team. So right now, Dinesh Kumar is being connected with us, our data scientist. So like he's working in some of the in one of the private company. So here, like you can see that whatever courses we take, and you can just check out like introduction about me, and whatever videos what we take would be uploaded here. Meetups, menus, meetup uploads. You can click on meetup uploads, so you can see that in that meetup video you need to click on meetup videos. So if you're clicking meetup videos, then whatever videos we have, everything would get everything, like you can see that at there in that place is, so you can just make use of all these videos. So today's videos, you'll get uploaded in maybe in 1 or 2 hours. You'll get all these videos uploaded here, so you can make use of it, and you can see that if there is any doubts tomorrow also, again, no, we'll be able to clear it. Please ensure that no, you just you make a note of those doubts you have, and you can let us know. So your number, like if there is any if there is any doubts, or else if you want to join our groups or something like that, then you can and probably you can use this number 978-988-424 and 9566182384. You can WhatsApp us, so you can be connected to our group if you are interested. So tomorrow we'll go with the second part, day 2, inferential statistics and probability distribution. So those basic first 2 sessions would be theoretical. After that, everything would be practical. All other 13 sessions, all other from day 3 to day 13, it will be fully practical session. So please ensure you connect on time, 6:30 exactly. Thank you for the session. And myself, Dinesh Kumar and Irfan, we thank you people who have joined, and we thank all. So thank you. Let's meet tomorrow morning 6:30. Thank you.